All right, let's get started on our next project. We're using the new paper package that just came out today. So I've done some prep work on these pages because they're pretty involved. It's going to be a 2-page spread. And I'm using the Limeade Cardstock, the solid cardstock, and some paper from one of the new sets. I've forgotten the name, but I'll list it below. I've done some die cutting here. And I try and keep things that I'm cutting and I'm done in some tiny bags here so I don't, lose any pieces. Which, I do frequently. See what I tell you? There's one loose one right there. So let me put that aside. Then I'm going to be working with a new a alphabet number set. I got the bundle, which means I got both the numbers and the alpha. And it cuts out not only your letter or your number, but an outline of that. So that's what that little O that tried to escape came from. Little guy right there. So we're going to use that. I'm using a Swiss dot, embossing card type thing. I don't know why when I get on camera, is anyone else like this when you forget the names of things? So embossing folder. Then this is an older die set, which I think might still be available. I'm not sure. I placed a large order last night after I said I wasn't going to, but I'm so fearful of not having close to my heart's cardstock anymore that I had to order, and it's on sale today. So anyways, I placed quite a bit of orders last night, and I'm not sure I saw this available still, but it's called Butterfly Layers. And then the other thing that I'm going to use that's not in this little stack here is I am using some vellum today. So let me pull out my Versamats and get this situated, and I'll be right back. Okay, I've pulled out my Versamats. And if you're new to my channel, what you'll find is I am very honest. And if I make mistakes, because we all do, I am going to share them with you. And I don't always correct them. I just kind of go with what I have. I'm going to pull up my camera just a little bit more there since we have a double page. And if we need to be closer up, I'll do that too. So again, the solid cardstock here is Limeade. This plaid paper, which I love. I love anything plaid, gingham. That's just me. That is this paper. This one, I've forgotten the title of it. I'll put it down below. I want to say, why can't, shortbread. Is that shortbread? It might be. I'll have to look it up and I'll list it below. So we need to kind of get this laid out. And let me explain these pictures to you because I'm going to have several pages of this because this is one of the things that I've done in my life that was just, I loved it. I happen to love flowers and gardening. And this is at a place in the Netherlands. It's only open 3 months out of the year, and it's called Keukenhof. It's about a half hour to an hour outside of Amsterdam. And we were there the first week they had opened, and it's like going to a Disneyland for flowers. Literally, there's acres and acres. There's all kinds of things to do. And you'll see as I prepare these pages, I think there's going to be 9 pages. I went through and tried to arrange my pictures last night. So I've gone ahead and I've matted these out with some white cardstock, which is the Daisy White cardstock. And not 100% sure how I want to lay this out. These are 2x3s, and this is a 4x4. And here is my husband. I just love that guy. These were like these long troughs that were planted with all kinds of beautiful flowers, and they were throughout the property. So he was trying to see if he could lift that. So there is that. And then this is, it just shows everyone that comes out to go to this place, and they bring picnics in and just sit down and enjoy the day. The life in Europe just seems to be so much of a slower pace than what we have here. Thoroughly love the Netherlands, and I could see living there someday. Let's see, there's that. And then this is me standing outside of Keukenhof right before we went in, or it could have been when we were exiting. And you see the big sign up there, and just a big, beautiful modern building. And it was a beautiful day when we were there. So I think I want to come down in here and do that. Then, let's see. I'm thinking I want to use that somewhere as a base. And then these are my bits and pieces. So I used the Swiss Dot embossing folder. Something on here. It'll get covered up. You can see the little dots in here. And I'm going to have some butterflies on this page. And here you see that I've gone ahead and used one of the butterfly die cuts to make some wings. This was on the sticker sheet that comes with the workshops. And I believe there's some still available. I'll list them below, and I'm recording this on March 1st. And it's not going to come out for a couple days. So hopefully there'll be some still available. But I think I want to use that. And I may hook that underneath there. We'll see how that looks. Then I've got some more butterflies going on. I have a large butterfly, and I've done the embossing folder on that too. Now, let me show you what happens when you use these new sets. And these are going to go like wildfire. Hopefully they're still available. These are called the outlined alphabet and numbers. And when you cut it out, you get a solid like this. Then you get an outline like that. And what I thought I would do is use the exterior here, possibly here, or on the last page, I could spell out like, you know, goodbye Keukenhof, something like that. Okay, we are back, and we're going to do a few techniques here. Really simple. I've got my Limeade ink out, which is the same thing as my green paper over here. And to cut out and ink up these letters, what I had done, which is the easiest way in my opinion to do them, and I've got a piece of scrap paper here to show you, is just to kind of start and concentrate a little heavier in the bottom, and then just take the ink up just a little. Pound off on your craft mat. I think pound is probably the wrong word. How about if we say tap off? Much better, Susan. You just, if you come in and you don't do this off to the side, you're going to end up with a big spot of ink. So you kind of just wanted to come into your paper off of the side and get lighter as you come up to the top. Then, and that will dry slightly lighter. I'll leave that out. We need to do one more thing. So then what you would do are, these are some of the die cuts, the new ones that I've used that I love, which are up here, and I'll show you something else we've done with them. So what I would do is come in and place this right in here where it shows the difference between the light and the dark, and put it right in there, and tape that down and run it through your die cutting machine. So pretty simple. So there's that. Let me kind of clean this up so I don't get this on anything else. You can't see it, but it's there, see? So be careful. So I've gone ahead and I've glued down the Keukenhof, which is the name of the place we were at. And I want to come in and just kind of ink up, whoops, I got the wrong thing, just a moment. Much better. Okay, let's ink this up. This is a new sponge, so I'll get it going here. So you just want to come in and ink up the sides just a little. I just wanted a little bit of definition from the page underneath it, or the paper underneath it, I should say. You can see how it's just adding a little bit of a green there. And I'm going to do this to one other item down here. You can see here where I've cut some limeade and I've matted it with some white cardstock. One other thing we're going to talk about here, another, I guess there'll be more than one. Don't have any ink down there. These were the embossed part that I had talked to you about earlier. So this is a dotted Swiss embossing file. This is some vellum that I've die cut. And we have the little body to the butterfly here. Pardon me. And normally you don't want to put glue on a vellum because it'll show through. But because the body of the butterfly is behind the vellum, we can get away with using some liquid glue. And I'm just going to hold that there for a minute because sometimes vellum doesn't want to always stick real well. So I'm just wanting to be a little bit careful. I'm going to let that dry there just for a minute and come back over here. And I wanted to tell you the measurements of this. This, at the tallest point in this, you're right at 5.5 inches in the depth of this. This would end up to be, the green one, about 11 inches, and then the yellow would be 11.25. And what I've done to get the yellow is, see if I can demonstrate. Just use this as a demonstration. So what I've done is I've taken an inch, I've taken a 12 by 12 paper and I've come in like this and like this, and this would be 1 inch and this would be 1 inch. And then I layered that up behind here first. Then I laid this down and then I cut off any extra on the edges. And it worked out beautifully. So let me get this Keukenhof sign down. So there's that. So I'm going to kind of place these other things so I know where I want them before I glue them down. So you can see here are some of the other butterflies that I've done, and I've just kind of bent up the vellum. Yes, it's going to bend down a little when you put it in your sheet protectors, but it won't go down all the way, and you'll get a, you know, a three-dimensional look. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over in there with that one, and in here too. And this is the one that we just worked on. So we're going to bend his little wings up a little. And I might come in over here like that with him. Then here are our labels. And I looked this up on the internet just so I would, you know, in my olden years, if I have, you know, dementia, God forbid, we'll know what this was. So it says Keukenhof, also known as the Garden of Europe, is one of the world's largest flower gardens situated, in the municipality of Lisse. It's Lisse, and then it's in the Netherlands. There are 7 million flower bulbs planted in the gardens annually. It's just an incredible place. I don't know if I mentioned before too, it's only open 3 months out of the year. It opens late March and then for 3 months, and then the bulbs are gone. They've done their thing. So here is a sticker that I printed on, and I'm going to come in here like this. And once I'm happy, and this is kind of one of those things, when it's stuck, it's stuck. It came off the sticker sheet. which, you know, is here. And when I pull them off and I'm wanting to play with them on my design, I will take them, turn them over, and use my anti-static powder. This is from Simon. I'll use this. When this runs out, when you first get this, and I like this one because I don't like the feeling of the powder necessarily on my hands, I will come in here and add cornstarch in here, and it does the same thing. You just want to make sure not to use anything that has a perfume in it, a powder, because it will ruin your pages. So the cornstarch is perfect. And that way you can then play around with it and see where you want it to go and not be worried about the tape. So now that I've shown you that, I'm going to wipe off some of this. And we'll add some tape. I want this to come up on the picture just a little. Happy with that. Let's put down our butterflies. So these are the same die cuts. This just, I put the frame on them. So that's what it looks like with a contrasting frame on those same die cuts. Another one of our little butterflies here. I've taken one of the other stickers from the sheet. I've put some 3-dimensional dots on it. And I think we're good. Oh, I know, there was one other thing I wanted to do. There we go. Let's see if there's anything else. Anyways, it's been a crazy, crazy week. Thank you again for following. I greatly appreciate it, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.